So I've been seeing a lot of chatter over the last year or so about LED headlights in old Volkswagens. And like everything, there's a lot of good and bad products out there. So I've decided to just road test a couple of the common ones people buy. All of these are readily available on eBay. And I go from your basic drop-in H4 replacement bulb right up to two different types of complete assemblies. So we do have one late entrant, that's these guys. They are a H4 mini projector, and as you're probably guessing by the cutaway and the fact my car already has LEDs in it, I purchased these ones after testing all the other ones, so you'll see them later in the video. The H4 drop-in bulbs are generally pretty rubbish because they're designed to fit in standard halogen headlight assemblies, which aren't designed for that type of light output. But we'll try them out anyway. Put these ones in first. Picked these up for around 35 Aussie dollary doos on eBay. So with my headlight assembly removed, these are just your garden variety Hella German 7-inch semi-sealed inserts. So once the rubber boot's removed, just need to unclip the bulb, take that out without touching the glass, and these will drop straight in the correct alignment. And it's going to take a little bit of fettling to get the clip around that bulb, like so. Now we'll notice there is a very large that's actually a little fan assembly in there, just to keep it cool. These do run fairly hot, and then that will plug into standard plug there for the original bulb. Alright, so I've just fitted the LED in the driver's side only, right-hand drive car people, and you can hear the little fan running away in there. First thing I'm noticing is it needs aiming down dramatically. So that's just on low beam. You can see how far down that has to come and how scattered the bulb pattern is compared to the nice sharp cut off of a standard globe. Alright, so I've got both sides in now and adjusted down. So we'll just wait and see. As soon as it's dark, we'll take them for a spin and see how they perform. So even with these aimed down, that's high beam, that's low beam, you can see how high and scattered the beams are. I've already had someone flash me, and that's wound down as far as my adjusters will go. So that really is indicative of the problem with LED bulbs in halogen housings. So this will be my little test spot. So you can see here, low beam, high beam is actually pretty shit, to be honest. Really isn't much difference between the two, but that's par for the course with LED globes, so we'll see how the beam pattern shows on the wall. So very scattered pattern, there's no sharp cutoff. Knock it up to high beam, as you can see, really not much better. Low beam. So yeah, that's why I was not expecting miracles with these. So the next ones are the Cree style, which I picked these ones up for a bit over $100. and they are a complete sealed unit. And these ones just have a separate low beam and high beam chamber. And one fault with these is they have no form of parker or running light, which is not a big deal for people in United States, but in Australia and Europe and a few various other countries, we have the tiny little bulb in there as a running light instead of the turn signals up there being running lights. So a lack of those is a slight problem with these ones. So they bolt in quite nicely. Can't say I'm crash hot on the look of them. They do look rather tinted, a lot more in darker light now. They do have a chrome reflector, but the black bar through the middle gives them that darker look, which I'm not crash hot about. See what they look like turned on. Again, a very bright white light. That's on low beam, so you can see only the top half's lit up. I imagine on high beam it'll light up the bottom section as well. Like so. So let's go and see how they work. Wow, what a difference with these ones. The spread out to the side is really good. That side beam clicks up, makes a real difference having a sharp cut-off, not blinding everyone now. So again, we've got low beam, high beam. Range does not show up well on camera. Alright, so there's our beam pattern on the wall. Nice sharp cut off on low beam. Knock it up to high beam. I haven't touched the adjustment since the H4 drop-ins. Pretty happy with the height and distribution on that. And the last ones to try are the projector style LEDs, and these are the ones I'm excited about. These ones were also around the $100 mark. And as you can see, they have a proper low beam and high beam projector, which is a magnifying glass basically. And the problem of the running lights, parkers, that the other ones have is not an issue with these, because this big white ring around the outside is actually a LED halo which can be used as a parker, and it's also dual colour, so it flashes orange as well for turn signals should you wish to hook those up. So we'll throw these ones in and give them a whirl. So we do have some additional wires here for the amber and white halos. So I'll have to make some jumper wires up to run them across, but that's easy done. Like so, a simple male jumper wire will connect the existing parker light wire to the halo wire. Okay, so they bolt in the exact same manner as the Cree style, with the exception of that parker wire jumper I had to make. So if I turn on my parkers now, I should get white halo rings. Like so. Not amazingly bright like modern car DRLs, but they'll pass as parkers or running lights anyway. So that ring can also flash amber for a turn signal if you so wish to hook that up. But what I did notice bench testing it was the it doesn't turn the white off in between orange flashes, so you would need a switchback module. So if I flick them onto low beam now, I imagine it'll only light up a couple of segments. Yep, those two outside ones and the top one. So obviously high beam will bring on that low beam one as well. Yep, there we go, that's full high beam. Alright, so performance of these ones is fairly similar to the Cree. Low beam definitely isn't as good. It's quite bright out to the sides, but you can probably even see on this shitty camera, there's 4 hot spots on the road just in front of me. High beam is actually quite impressive. High beam, I would say, is better than the Cree ones. You can certainly see the 4 hot spots on low beam. High beam, despite what the camera shows, is actually quite good. Makes it right to the end of this car park a lot better than the Cree ones. And our beam pattern. So that's high beam. Low beam, nice sharp cut off. Very even spread. Yeah, the high beam, those projectors, does give the high beam a lot of extra range. So yeah, pretty happy with these ones overall. And finally I get to these guys, the H4 mini projectors. So just to fill you in on what the story is here, all the other ones I tested that you just watched, I actually filmed all those back in July of 2019, and it's now nearly December 2020. So what happened there was, aside from the coronavirus everyone knows about, Australia had some of the worst bushfires in history over summer, so I haven't really been in the right mindset to be editing and uploading videos. And a couple other things, you can see my car has the black projector ones in still, and I have been happy with them, but in the 18 months since I put them in, everybody's running those now. Every Facebook group you see another Beetle every day with those on, so time for a change. Plus I'm not crash hot on the look of them. Now, spoiler alert, ordinarily I would have lumped these into the same category as the H4 drop-ins, cheap utter rubbish, but these ones we've already tried out in one of our other cars and they work amazingly well. They're about the same price as the other replacement headlights, about $100. And they drop straight in like an ordinary H4 bulb, which means I could put them into my standard headlights, but they are not actually designed to work with fluted glass lenses like that. It would make for a very scattered beam pattern. They're designed for modern cars which have clear lenses, so I have picked up these guys. I've been through so many of these over the years and got rid of them again, but they're nice and cheap, and these ones are actually glass lens. Many of them are plastic, which go yellow and chip and crack very easily with rocks. Now, the only thing is I have to remove the deflector thing in the centre there, which is easy. It's just held in by one screw. So the little tin deflector just unscrews out like so, and the LED fits in, same as those ones. This little fan assembly unscrews off so the boot can be fitted. So one thing worth noting is they do have slotted screws to allow for a bit of level adjustment, just in case they're left-hand drive versus right-hand drive. And there they are, ready to go in. Just have to put some tails on the Parker globe wires. Nice to see it rocking normal looking headlights again. I don't think these look too bad. Certainly less UFO like with the halo projector LEDs, but as soon as it's dark I'll take it out and see what they're like. So more crap night camera work. I'll have to insert some photos into the video from the phone to show you how good it actually is, because it just does not show up here on camera. So apologies for the wind if that's all you can hear. It is blowing like crazy at the moment, but there's the cutoff on the wall. As you can see, it's actually nice and level. That driver's side could come up a fraction. Definitely not as much out to the side as the other LEDs, but still very useful light. If I knock it up to high beam, look at that. It's nice and high and low. Sorry, I'm getting blown away out here. Little bit disappointing, there's a bit of a dark spot between the low beam and high beam, but still very usable light. So the verdict on my little experiment, the H4 drop-ins were pretty useless as we expected. Just very scattered light beam and uneven output. They're a cheap alternative. They're really not designed for fluted headlight lenses. Might be slightly better in the crystal prism style, but I wouldn't count on it. The Cree style drop-in complete replacements, was very happy with the performance of these. Low beam was excellent, nice widespread, good straight cutoff. High beam was very good. Didn't quite have the range of the projector style, but that's a given. The projector ones, obviously the projectors increase the range. We did have hot spots from those two low beam LEDs in each side, but again they were very good, and after being on my car for over a year and a half, I was quite happy with them. The only note I will say, which can't really see on camera too well, but they do have a bit of chipping and scratching, which if you're putting these on, I would recommend putting protective film over them. They do have a very curved lens on them, which I tried to put some on, and it needs heating up with a heat gun first just to conform to that. So aside from the Crees not having Parker light, which is a problem in Australia, I would recommend either of those, which brings us to the last ones, the H4 mini projectors, which are in the car. Certainly the light output is not quite as good as the either complete replacement, but certainly a huge improvement over the standard H4 halogens, with the adjustment tweaked a bit. I'm quite happy with those. A little bit disappointing about the shadowing between high and low beam, but I think that's more a fault of these cheap reflectors anyway, but still a lot better than halogens. So I hope after all that it's helped some people with their decisions on LED headlights.